So in today's web dev tip, we're going to take a look at the JavaScript array from method and how you can use it to create new arrays or convert existing values into array-like structures. So the array from method is actually something that's callable on the array object, so you don't call it on an existing array. And it's just a case of calling the function and then passing it in some values. And what values you pass in depending on what you're trying to achieve. So the first thing you could do from the array from function is pass it in a string. So you could say the cat sat on the mat, for example. And what that will do is it will take the string and convert it into an array. And as you can see, the array that we get on the right hand side is the string just broken up into each of its single characters as an array. So that might have a use in some cases, but what's more likely is you might use the array from function to convert something else which is a bit more like an array, such as a node list in the browser. So if you've selected a group of nodes using a query selector all function, for example, and you have a specific need to have it as an array, then this will do the job too. You just put the result of the query selector into array.from. But as mentioned, you can also generate new arrays using the from function, and there are several different ways to do that, but probably the easiest is to pass in an object as the first argument, and then we just pass in a length property. And as the name suggests, the length is the length of the array that you want to create. And as you can see on the output from the right hand side, we have a new array with 10 items in, but all of the values are undefined. So you can do a few different things from here. You can either go through each of those items and populate them in some way, but the from function does actually have a callback that you can pass in as the second argument here, and we can pass just a simple arrow function. Similar to other array methods, we get access to the item, which will just be undefined for each item, and also the index position for each item in the array. So as mentioned, items are a little bit useless to us in this case because they'll just be all undefined values, but we can use the index value to populate the array. So whatever we return from this function will go into the array. So for example, if we pass in an empty string, you can see all the values in the array will just be empty strings. If we call something like the math.random function, for example, then we'll just get an array of 10 random numbers. But if you want a sequence of numbers, then you can use the index. Say we want to get the numbers from 1 to 10. We can just return the index value plus 1, and that will give us a sequence of numbers between the range of 1 and 10. So there you go, there's just a few examples of how to use the array.from method. And if you're just aware that you've got this callback that you can use to map the items from the array to something, then you can generate some new arrays with different values depending on what you need. So that's it for the array.from method. Stay tuned for more web dev tips.